Hi, I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. First, I want to say happy Valentine's Day, because today could certainly be a day filled with romance, and that has a lot to do with the title of the show, which is High Hopes. And the reason why you or someone you know could have very high hopes right now is because there are some wonderful planets in the air signs that indicate easy communication right now. And that is because the Sun and Venus, the planet of love, are both in Aquarius, the sign of the future. And they are beautifully trine Jupiter in Gemini, which rules communication and change. So a lot of people, yourself included, could have high hopes about the future. And so there are a lot of people that are looking for good partners. They're looking to collaborate with others. They're wanting harmony in their relationships. And in fact, with all of that, there could also be a very sudden breakthrough right now that can be quite unexpected, but could be absolutely delightful. And the reason why is not only are these planets, these three planets in Aquarius and Gemini, harmoniously aspecting each other, but they are all trining the sign of Libra, the third air sign, which rules partnership in marriage and business, or it has to do with legal contracts as well. And so all of those things are favored. Another indication of something that can represent high hopes and a sudden breakthrough is the fact that today the moon is in Aries, and it is there along with Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, which rules things ahead of their time, and it rules sudden change and freedom and rebellion. So since Aries rules new beginnings, you could have very high hopes about some new start that you can see rather clearly right now. Or it can simply be that a lot of people are feeling good about a new start. They can be very excited about that. So that could be happening as well as something just suddenly gets off the ground, which would be great. On top of that, there can be a real steadiness now in our feelings. And the reason why is that Saturn in Scorpio, a financial sign, indicates some sort of stability or security connected with funding or financing. It doesn't mean if you got a great idea that there would be a lot of financing for it. In fact, your budget could be rather small right now until you get some proven results. But still, there can be a lot of stability in relationships right now, and there can be some financial backup somewhere in your life that could make a new start get off the ground. At the same time, there are three planets in Pisces, and it simply is that Neptune, Mars, and Mercury in Pisces are all trining that Saturn in Scorpio. So a lot of people can be willing to keep their emotions under control and handle them very well right now. And that simply means that we can get through a lot of problems, or we can help each other with problem solving, and that could open up some space for new ideas and high hopes as well. The three planets in Pisces that are trining the sign of Scorpio are also squaring Jupiter in Gemini. And so that simply means that if something should be looking very easy, and if you're thinking that a transition could go very smoothly, there could be a few little slight irritations instead. And that is because Mars is in Pisces squaring Jupiter, and Mercury means that people can be changing their minds, and Neptune can be a nebulous planet, meaning that there can be hidden snags or hidden costs to something that should be actually rather easy to do. And so if you're willing to work extra hard right now, you could, and you're willing to keep your high hopes about something, you could be rewarded and still be very successful. All right, what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs? Well, Aries, you're the one that can make a sudden breakthrough. And the reason why is that the moon is in your sign today, along with Uranus, that planet of freedom and rebellion and sudden change. So you may not give anybody too much notice, Aries. In fact, if you see something that has to do with a move or a change and you find it very appealing, you can simply give very short notice and be well on your way towards success in another endeavor or even in another location. And I think you would be successful at that right now, Aries, because both the moon and Uranus are very intuitive planets. And Uranus is the sign of genius. It's the sign of things ahead of their time. So you could have a great idea, and if you can see a way to make that happen, then I think you ought to go for that, Aries, because it would really give you a new lease on life. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Taurus? Well, Taurus, this is simply a time when I think people with high hopes and great ideas for the future are going to zoom forward and communicate those things in a way that promotes change. And since you may not be interested in changing along with them, you may decide to sort of focus a little bit more on your long-term goals and sit this one out. And that is probably a good idea, Taurus, because the people with innovative ideas that are ahead of their time are probably not going to include you. And that is because the Sun and Venus, your own ruler, are both in Aquarius and they are squaring your Sun. So I think somebody wants to bypass you a little bit, Taurus, and head toward others who can swiftly pick up an idea and sort of run with it. And you are a person that likes to think things through, and particularly if something is simply change for the sake of change, you may not be interested because you might be saying to yourself, oh, that's not worth my time. And you could be right about that, Taurus. So I don't think you're going to feel too bad if other people with high hopes sort of go on their way right now. Pluto in Capricorn is trining your Sun. So as long as you keep a long view on things, and as long as you are more focused on your long-range goals, in other words, you could be nearing the time when an investment pays off and you're ready to cash it in. That would be a good idea, Taurus. So with Saturn in Scorpio opposing your sun sign for the next 2 years, there will be higher costs and higher taxes. So this is a time when you really need to concentrate on how to put yourself in a good long-term secure position. And that's what you should concentrate on rather than all the change that's going on around you. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini, this is simply a time when I'm sure you've got high hopes, and you probably know a lot of other people that do too. And that is because the Sun and Venus are both trine your Sun where you have Jupiter. So this is an excellent time for you to be looking for new partners and for you to collaborate with others and seek harmony and partnership, Gemini. Your sign does rule change, and so you could certainly have a lot of different irons in the fire and be excited about change right now. And that is good, because other people can have ideas that are a little bit ahead of their time, and so even if it's not your idea, they may be asking you to contribute your skills in a new way to some other project or endeavor. And you ought to take someone up on that, Gemini. You have no idea where it will lead. Or conversely, you may decide that this is a time as other people are being innovated, since you don't quite know how that's going to end up, you may want to simplify your life instead. Either way, this can be an exciting time of change for you, Gemini, and I think you have a lot to gain simply by deciding that you will make some changes right now. In fact, you can make 2 changes real easily. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time when I think there can be some sort of sudden breakthrough or breakaway, and it could be done by someone else. And that is because the moon, your own ruler, and Uranus, which rules sudden change, are both in Aries, the sign of new beginnings, but they square your Sun sign, Cancer. And that means I think somebody else has already got it in mind that they want to break away and go for their own freedom and do their own thing. And I think they're going to do it, Cancer. And so rather than you spend a lot of time trying to control them, I think that you should wish them well, because you may feel a real sigh of relief once they're gone. Not that you dislike them in any way, but it could be a little calmer in your life if someone breaks away and moves on right now. It could be a family member who's just moving a short distance away, or it can be that somebody wants to change a work situation in a way that can allow you a little bit more free time of your own, and that would be great. So I think, Cancer, that if you simply don't dwell on what other people are doing, and instead you think of how grateful you can be for a lot of emotional support right now, then you would not feel threatened by anything that anyone else is doing. And the reason why there is a lot of support is because Saturn in Scorpio is trining your Sun, and 3 planets in Pisces, Neptune, Mars, and Mercury, are also trining your Sun. And so in the background of your life, where Jupiter in Gemini is, I think that you too are planning some sort of easy change or smooth transition that can fill you with a lot of high hopes for happiness in your future, Cancer. You might be a little quiet about that right now, but I think it looks promising. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Well, Leo, this is a time when you're going to have 2 choices, and they're both wonderful choices, so I have no idea which one you're going to choose, Leo. But with that Moon and Uranus in Aries right now trining your Sun, Leo, it simply means that you could have the choice of seeing a fantastic new start right ahead of you, and that new start would allow you to be your own boss. It would be something where you would be in control. And that could be quite appealing to you, because Leos like to be in control of things, or they like to be the head of something. So that could simply give you a chance to be your own boss, and that would be great. On the other hand, the Sun and Venus in Aquarius are opposing your Sun, Leo, and that simply means, since they are so well aspected because they're trining Jupiter in Gemini, it simply means that somebody else could have very high hopes, great ideas, a lot of collaboration and partnership and backing right now. And so it's looking as if they want to work hard, they will be rewarded. And you could go along and be supportive of them. You would not be in control, you would be a sort of number 2, and you would not get all the credit, they simply would, but it looks like they could be very successful. So are you going to bet on an unknown, or are you going to bet on a sure thing, Leo? Both choices could be very good for different reasons, and that's why you're really going to need to think about your choices right now, Leo, because it sort of depends on what the rest of your life is like. And yet, I think that you have 2 good choices, so I don't see how you could go wrong, no matter which one you choose. All right, what does it mean to a Virgo? Well, Virgo, this is simply a time when you're going to have to be very careful. And it isn't just this week, Virgo. It's going to be until St. Patrick's Day, March 17th, because in February, 2 planets will go retrograde. Mercury, your ruler, will go retrograde on the 23rd, and Saturn in Scorpio will go retrograde on the 18th. Mercury won't go direct until St. Patrick's Day, March 17th. And so during that whole time, there will be planets in Pisces, quite a few of them, that will be opposing your sun sign, Virgo. And that's why you need to be careful right now. You do like to examine details and facts, but there's a problem right now in that Mars is in Pisces along with Neptune and Mercury, your own ruler, and they oppose your sun sign. Mars is not happy in Pisces, and when it is there, it can indicate heightened deception. It could be that someone is lying either to you or about you, and you'd have to be very careful when people are talking to you or wanting you to sign anything, because they may leave out very important information that could leave you legally liable. in one way or another. That's why you're going to have to check everything twice, Virgo, and be very, very careful, and try not to believe everything that everyone is telling you, because you're somewhat aspected not to be told the truth right now, and that's why you need to be somewhat cautious. If you don't have to sign anything until Mercury goes direct on March 17th, I wouldn't do that if I were you. It doesn't mean that you can't be included in a collaboration, but I wouldn't make a firm commitment until after the middle of March if I were you, Virgo. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra, this is a wonderful time for you. In fact, Libra, I am sure you have high hopes, and so do a lot of other people who know you. And so you could be very popular, you could be in demand right now, and it would be simply because you're good at collaboration, you're good at instilling harmony and diplomacy, and that is why you're in demand. The Sun and Venus, your own ruler, are in Aquarius, trining your Sun, and so Jupiter in Gemini is also trining your Sun, meaning that people with innovative ideas who are looking for partners to collaborate with can certainly be seeking you out right now, and I think you will be invited into something, Libra, or you will be included on some sort of proposal or project, and you will make some valuable contributions, and that is simply because you're good at sort of keeping the peace, and you're good at keeping things going in a tactful and supportive manner, and that is why you are so popular right now. Congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Well, Scorpio, this is simply a time when you can be a little bit hesitant about what to spend your money on. And the reason why is that Saturn in your sign is squaring Venus and the Sun in Aquarius. And remember that those planets represent people who have very high hopes right now, great ideas, and they're able to communicate them very effectively right now. And it looks as if they're willing to work extra hard, that they will be rewarded. So what's the problem? You can be doubtful about results until you see the results, and you haven't seen any yet. And yet I think that you need to consider that people with new ideas right now can seek partners who can work with them productively in order to get things underway, and that will turn into a profitable venture sooner or later, and I wouldn't discount that right now, Scorpio. You're just being cautious, but you do need to consider that there are planets in Pisces right now, 3 of them, Mars, Mercury, and Neptune, and they are all trining that Saturn in your sun sign, and that simply means that people have a really good handle on their emotions, and they're able to keep themselves under control, and that means that they can solve any problems that come up. They can work extra hard right now, and that's a guarantee of success. And you could be involved in the problem solving of something right now, and once you see what the problems are and you can see how to solve them, that may be when you sort of jump on the bandwagon and join others as well. So you too can have high hopes, even though I think they might be a little delayed right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Well, Sagittarius, you could have a sudden breakthrough, and the reason why is that Moon and Uranus in Aries are both trining your Sun, Sagittarius, so right out of the blue, someone, perhaps a woman, since the Moon does rule women, could come along and say, come on, let's go do something, and you should accept their invitation and go, Sagittarius. So there could be a sudden breakthrough for travel, or for learning something new, or it could simply be that somebody has a great idea and they certainly want your input on it, or they want you to make a contribution to it. And I think you would be wise to follow up on that, Sagittarius, because you like to be in action, and your sign is the sign of intelligence. Your sign is ruled by Jupiter, and so you could have a good grasp of facts right now that can be important to somebody else that wants to make a new start, so you could work really well with them. So if somebody is talking about something that suddenly appeals to you, I hope you follow up on it, because it could be worth gold. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Well, Capricorn, this is simply a time when I think you need to stick to your own plans and ideas. And the reason why is that you like to work methodically and not skip steps. And in fact, your sign rules perseverance. So you may already have a long-term plan that you would like to keep following because it can give you stability or financial security. And I think that's a good idea. And the reason why it can be such a good idea for you just to stick to your own plans right now, Capricorn, and quietly go about them and follow through, is because this can be a time of instability. And there can be sudden breakthroughs, but there can be sudden alarming surprises as well. And that is because the moon and Uranus in Aries are squaring your sun where you have Pluto. So you can be in control of your life. You can be pretty sure about the facts pertaining to you, but you cannot be in control of somebody who wants to change things very quickly or be rebellious or go for their own freedom on very short notice. And so what you have to do is simply persevere right now, Capricorn. There are no other planets in Earth signs, so you're going to have to sort of stick to your own plan and be happy with that. And if you feel like the world is passing you by as people come up with great ideas that can be innovative and futuristic, then go ahead and let them do that right now, Capricorn, because you're a person that likes to be on solid ground and take small steps. And I think that would be wisest for you to do that right now rather than to take any big jump. Don't do that. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius, this can be a wonderful time for you. You're on a roll, Aquarius. And the reason why is not only was the new moon just in your sun sign, which is tremendous, but you do still have Venus in your sun sign along with the sun, and Venus is a wonderful, loving planet, and it is trying the sign it rules, Libra. So you could be looking for love, and you could be finding it these days, Aquarius. Or you could have wonderful friends around you, or great neighbors, or be getting along really well with your relatives right now. And the reason why is that that sun and Venus in Aquarius are trining Jupiter in Gemini. Gemini rules youth. It also rules our neighborhood and our pals and our buddies, and it rules people that we know rather casually, and it rules buying and selling and promoting and advertising, all of which are really well favored right now. So Aquarius, you should not be afraid to get out there and promote your wonderful ideas. Yes, you can be full of high hopes, but they could be very well justified right now. As you converse with other people, you can certainly pick up great ideas, or they can listen to your plans for the future and they can be excited about them. So I think this is an optimum time for you to collaborate, or for you to seek harmonious relationships with just about everybody. So not only are you popular, but I think that you're going to get some acceptance or some backing for a proposal. It may not be a lot of financial backing, but at least it will be accepted and you'll be able to get it off the ground, Aquarius, and that's what you need right now. So don't be afraid to go forward. Your future is looking bright. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Well, Pisces, this is simply a time that can be either a good time or a bad time, and you get to choose, Pisces. And the reason why is that, remember I said it's unique that there are 3 planets in your sign, Mercury, Mars, and Neptune, and they are all trining Saturn in Scorpio, which means that you and a lot of other people have very good grasp of their emotions. You can keep things under control really well and handle adversity, and you can be a wonderful problem solver right now. And you have somebody in the background of your life, which perhaps has been there for about a year, who is very stable and can make you feel emotionally secure. So that's wonderful. You could choose to keep that going, Pisces, if you wanted to. Or you could go back to the old ways, or to people that you know from your past who have caused trouble in your life. And that is because the same 3 planets, particularly Mars in your sign, are squaring Jupiter in Gemini, meaning that something that should be very easy to do could turn out to be slightly irritating and have a lot of hidden snags to it. And you could be very tempted to go back to things that had caused you problems in the past. So don't go down that road if you could possibly help it, Pisces, because there will be a fabulous new moon in your sun sign in March with 6 planets there, all still trining that same Saturn in Scorpio, and that simply means that you could be in a wonderful position to go forward with high hopes in your future and retain the stability that you have in the background of your life as well. So I think that you need to choose either the high road or the old road, and I would choose the high road if I were you, Pisces. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, and I hope you're having a wonderful time on Valentine's Day, and if you've been out tonight and you've missed the show on the channel, you can always see it anytime along with the 2013 predictions by month and by sun sign on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.